Our project was on the effect of Purdue's raised pedestrian crosswalks on vehicle yield rates when compared to standard level crosswalks.
The ability to regulate traffic patterns and practices is essential to improving pedestrian and vehicular safety in high population and urbanized areas. This study analyzes the impact of raised pedestrian crosswalks on the percentage of vehicles that yield to pedestrians at two intersections on Purdue University's main campus: the raised crosswalk at the Cordova Recreation Center and the standard crosswalk at North University and First Streets. The percentage of cars that yielded at each intersection was counted and the results were compared. Current results indicate that the presence of a raised crosswalk can increase the vehicular yield rate up to 27% on average. Further research is necessary to ensure that data is taken consistently from an adequate sample size. Despite the need for additional research, this data presents a necessary information base to begin improving pedestrian and vehicular safety in urban areas.
Some existing research indicates that raised crosswalks do force vehicles to slow down, but despite this, data on their efficacy of increasing yield rates is mixed. Researchers in Israel, for example, installed raised crosswalks, additional signage, and traffic signals across the country, and found that crosswalks on average saw yield rates increase by over 30% as a result. On the other hand, researchers from the US installed just raised crosswalks at 4 American cities to analyze their standalone effects and saw no statistically significant change in yield rates. Given that driving cultures and conditions can vary across the world, as well as across regions within a large country like the US, evaluating the impact of raised crosswalks in an area like a crowded Midwestern college campus could provide some useful insight.
The data was recorded outside of the COREC and the intersection between University Street and First Street, just outside Beering Hall. They were chosen because of their similar layouts and their high traffic volumes. The data was taken in 4 30-minute intervals over the course of a week. The yield rate was recorded of oncoming vehicles that were 140 feet away when a natural pedestrian began waiting to cross. Data collection only occurred during days with clear weather and visibility. This was done to ensure the safety of researchers, pedestrians, and drivers. The data was analyzed in Excel. The tallies were summed for each day, and a significance test was done to determine the p-value of each data.
The data collected showed 69.3% of vehicles yielded to pedestrians at the raised crosswalk, while at the standard crosswalk, only 42.1% yielded. This means that the yield rate was 27.2% higher at the raised crosswalk when compared to the standard crosswalk, which is statistically significant.
In conclusion, the presence of a raised crosswalk correlates to a higher vehicular yield rate. Our data suggests that the impact is about 27%, which is statistically significant. We recommend that Purdue University continues to study the impacts of raised crosswalks and potentially install more in the future. Further research would require larger sample sizes at more intersections to ensure data validity and consistency. Additionally, data should be taken before and after installations to ensure that the correlation is consistent with the presence of a raised crosswalk and not coincidentally due to other factors.